hate to say it, but I'm obsessed with the Scott Peterson trial. Here's why, because Mark Galapagos, whatever his name is, asked Amber Fry if Scott Peterson ever said he loved her yesterday, and she said, not in those words. So, ladies, the illusion continues. Even in the midst of a murder trial, she can't bring herself to say he didn't love her. Because she thinks he did love her, and so do all her friends. He used other words. He missed you. He thought about you, Amber, right? That's sort of the same thing. You know that doesn't mean love. So, Amber, the question becomes, why do you think he loved you? This is a tough one, honey, but say it with me like I'm Dr. Phil. You think he loved you because you think he killed his wife for you. Admit it, Amber, there's a part of you that thinks he killed his wife so he could be with you. I know it's terrible, but let's call it the way it is. When you heard he killed his wife, you were shocked and disgusted and horrified, but maybe also a little bit flattered. And you know you're going to throw it in the face of the guy you end up with. You can guarantee that. When you ask him for one of the myriad of little favors that you don't necessarily need, ladies, but you need us to do to prove something to you. So when this guy refuses to go with you to visit your friend's new baby, you'll say, well, my last boyfriend killed for me. I don't see what the big deal about taking an afternoon. You're not going to do anything but lie around and watch the Olympics. You said you don't even like the Olympics, so you're going to sit around and watch stuff you don't even like. Hello, boys.
What's up, Colin?
Or should I say men? The National Council of Arab Americans, a group you should not be taking lightly, Mr. Attell.
You got it.
Your background. And a group called United for Peace and Justice, estimated 250,000 protesters lost their bids. They wanted to go to Central Park before the RNC convention. First of all, why is an Arab American group protesting a convention? That's in bad taste. Why don't they just
let the Arab Americans go to the park. We'll know where they are when their convention's going on.
Absolutely.
That's
and while they're there, we can go to their houses and get on the computer and find out the next hit.
Exactly right.
One of the problems, the reason they were denied protest, one of the groups was a group called Act Now to End War and Stop Racism. And the reason they weren't allowed to protest is because you're not legally allowed to assemble if your organization has more than 2 cliches in the title.
So does anyone think...
For the homeless guys that sleep on the Great Lawn, every time there's a protest, they got to get up and go.
So they must be happy they're not. Yeah, they're saying they're not allowed, but what are they going to do? They're going to put them somewhere else. You won't be able to corral. There's going to be madness in the streets next week, don't you think?
Why are they protesting? There's
so.
nothing more aggravating than people who come here from these third world holes and then do nothing but complain about how repressive the U.S. government is when they wouldn't dare stand up in the third world dump they come from because they'd be shot or gassed, and it's just irritating to listen
that's
to.
racist.
Irritating.
But the other side of it is, please, Louis, the amount of applause that liberal talk gets around here in the business itself, don't nauseate me. But I'm just saying this. What about the other ones in America? Don't you think it's kind of crazy to just protest war? I mean, it's kind of an unrealistic thing.
Well, what I think it's funny about this protest is the reason they didn't get their permit is because they didn't have the right, they didn't get a bond company and stuff. So it's like they didn't even really, whatever their protest is, they don't really care that much. They're like, America's the devil, we must stop them and kill ourselves in the process. Did you get the permit? Yeah, but you got to wait in line. It's a pain in the ass. So you got to fill out the thing. I don't, you know.
Well, how about these hijinks? The New York City Fire Department is a big story in New York. It's investigating a divorced mother's claim that she's had sex with hundreds of firefighters and cops after 9/11, including a slide down the pole with 4 of New York's bravest at a Bronx firehouse last Friday night.
Ooh.
The FDNY commissioner said anyone involved in the scandal would be fired.
First of all, that's not her.
That's not her.
No. Right?
No. That's a model. That's not her. But I'm sure she's kind of cute.
I think if...
Oh,
go ahead.
they should be able to, adopt her like a Dalmatian. Just dress her in black and white polka dot dress, throw her on the truck, put a hat on.
I think if you're a fireman, you should be able to have sex with anybody on Earth, I think. Like, look, personally, I'm not gay, but any fireman is welcome to enjoy my face and ass any way that he wants.
Wow.
That's how much I appreciate what they
What
do.
does that mean?
That's a very...
I
He's
want them to
saying that
enjoy my face.
he'd sacrifice even his sexuality for the good of the
Because
cause.
how they do
Because they
a lot
do put their
more.
life on the line.
That's right. So who cares?
Why are they questioning the firemen? It's always the guy's integrity we question. This bride had herpes. She's married. She's got 4 kids.
Sounds like a
She's
winner.
accusing them of rape.
Sounds like a great American.
But that was a rather strange criteria. She had herpes. She was married. Like those are negative qualities.
Yeah.
I think
look at her with her
city ought to
kids
take
and her
this and use
herpes.
They ought to use this as a recruitment drive, because they always complain about how nobody wants to be a cop or a fireman, but I mean, I'd sign up in a second if I knew.
You can all have sex with the same woman.
If some girl shows
hundreds
up
of
at
you.
the firehouse and goes, look, I want to have sex, I'm hot for fireman, you're not going to say, excuse me, miss, there's regulations, please go away. I mean,
exactly
so
right.
the commission is phony, too, because he's like, this is outrageous conduct. You know, he's like acting like a phony. He's
First
outraged.
she said it was rape, right? Then it was consensual. Then it turns out she's a bipolar whore, basically, which is what the
Yeah.
I don't really
bipolar
get
means
what
now.
the problem
If you say
is.
you're bipolar, I know I'm going to sleep with you because I know you're a whore. So,
I don't get what the
Fellas.
problem is. Everybody should have sex with everybody that it will let them.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's a good
but they were
I
on
don't
the
really
job,
see what
man.
there is sex going
That's
on.
true.
Anytime doesn't matter if you're putting out a fire and somebody wants to you while you're putting it out, you should, you know.
That's what I say.
See, the whole time I
Who
thought that they
cares?
were...
There's no victim here.
I thought the firehouse, I thought they were just sitting there playing cards, making pornos or watching
Right.
them. Here they are having actual sex. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So do I.
God bless
Yeah,
them.
I think they have like a cook-off
Well, every
or
job
something.
needs some fringe benefits like that. And like you said, it's a firehouse. Like, oh, it's a male atmosphere. Well, it's going to be. I mean, what do you
Once
expect?
again, it's
Plus, you know how many Irish guys are there, man? They're going to drink.
But the problem
They
is
say,
that-
oh, you shouldn't drink at the firehouse.
You guys
Leave
are
those people alone.
You're missing this.
Wait,
Well,
did you just say we're all
yeah,
missing
and
this?
like
What is the real point here?
What's really going on, Mr.
I'll
Norton?
tell you.
Come, that's your show.
The
Come back.
point is that it was wrong because they're on duty and she's married.
Good point, Jim.
You are
Finally,
right.
somebody speaks.
You are right.
Finally, somebody speaks for morality, Jim.
It's on
Thank you.
duty. On duty as a fireman, you're sitting around making sandwiches. You're still on duty, right? Watching
always
TV.
on duty.
Yeah,
That's
doesn't make
duty.
sense. Yeah.
So what are you going to do? A whore wanders in, bang her, throw her out.
If you keep calling her a whore, it discourages
She's a
other girls.
filthy, crazy whore.
You're
That's all she is.
You're discouraging other girls from behaving like that.
They're not gonna.
She just
They
said
will if you say, hey, they're nice people.
She's a team player,
Oh,
is
I'm
what she
so
is.
Yes, a team.
Team player. Team player.
We'll be right back. Celebrities such as Matt Damon, Kevin Bacon, and Rebecca Romaine Stamos are coming out in force and lending their time to bush bashing ads. Here's a sample.
Hi, you Republican?
Yeah.
Get in. Must be hard not having a candidate for president.
What do you mean?
Republicans would never create the largest budget deficits in history, would they? They'd never send troops into war without checking all the facts. And they'd never let Saudi oil barons push us around, would they? Don't worry. You're not alone.
That wasn't too condescending, was it?
You know how that commercial should end? With her taping her mouth with the Kerry sticker and putting it in her ass.
Where is Ted Bundy when you need him?
That's hatefully awful.
Oh.
No, I mean, that's
saying the
not what he
ass.
said. How dare you?
But you think people are gonna...
Do you think she really drives a truck? I mean, come on. She's out there hauling, doing contracting when she's not a model, doing blow, talking to...
little sheetrock at work.
That can backfire using actors and actresses and you know, if you use a bad actor, you know, I mean, if John Kerry comes out and goes, I approve this commercial, then Keanu Reeves walks out, he's going to lose in a landslide.
No,
No?
also these. I mean, I'm probably going to vote for Kerry, but that almost makes me want to not because.
Why don't you?
You know, because I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, Bella.
All right. Look, the sort of liberal Hollywood people kind of annoy me because they're liberal just when it's convenient, but the way they live their lives, like they're the most racist people in the world. To like, if you ever go to Hollywood, they're like waiting for a Mexican to park their car, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to get some people together and raise money for Carrie. Get my car, you spick. Anyway, you know, they don't care. They don't really care.
You know,
she has people building a house for her probably for no money, and she's exploiting labor. I don't know any of these things, but let's say them anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you do.
The hell with her.
First of all, she's going through a hard time. I think her and John Stamos just
I know,
broke
that's
up.
rough.
So let's.
Yeah, she broke
But
up
it's
with
true that Hollywood, they do kind of, you know, I mean, they're like big oil. They export all the stuff overseas, and they act like they're not involved.
I have a good point.
Oh, really? A salient point, Jim?
Yeah.
Me too, Jimmy.
Let's hear it, Jim.
As far as I'm concerned, all these Hollywood bigwigs could just take a jump in the lake.
Can't fight that one.
Well, they won't do that because that lake was, you know, polluted by Republicans. If that came out smooth, it was so.
Speaking of the Mexicans getting a car, Dominicans working at the Cablevision office in Lebanon have filed a federal discrimination lawsuit against their bosses, who are Puerto Ricans. The suit charges the Dominicans, especially the black Dominicans, are being mistreated and denied promotions.
Really?
Yo, why they're having to do us like that? So what do you guys think about this? Isn't
It's
it
getting
funny?
lower and lower. I mean, who are the, you know, who's gonna, you know,
Ecuadorians?
yeah, who's gonna hassle the
But
Dominicans?
don't you think it's kind of
There's
amazing
some-
that everybody's got to hate somebody?
Yeah, it's true, and I don't think it's based on region because you may be surprised to know this, but I'm Mexican.
That's right.
Wow.
He is half
My
Mexican.
car.
I'm Mexican.
He's half Mexican.
Why should we be surprised?
My
Look at
dad's
you.
Mexican. Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
the thing. See, there are
You
white.
all wearing
there-
dark
there-
socks with sneakers, but
That's
go
right.
ahead.
But there are white
That was
people in
funny.
Mexico just like there are here, and they hate the brown Mexicans just like everybody
But
else.
we're talking
does.
about- yeah.
And it's really that people that look not the same as each other don't like each other. Like I'm Mexican. I grew up. My first language was Spanish, but I look like
Yeah, you look like a
like
leprechaun.
Larry Bird. And whereas Nick here would call himself a white man, he's about as white as a cup of diarrhea, but he would call himself a white man.
Really?
Now listen.
So
Wait a
it's
minute.
really.
Well, let me ask
I'm
you.
an Asian woman, by the way.
But there's also, we can't. But that's oversimple. It's oversimplifying to say like that it's just racial. I know what you're saying. It's been
Not
historically
just that
true.
people look at each other.
Right,
they
right,
wanna
but I'm just saying
identify
Dominicans
with
and Puerto Ricans, it's
Yeah.
cultural too. It's two different cultures.
But totally
Is it-
different.
is
because
it
one is
really
What do you
white.
mean? How is it different? They both love.
They don't wear, Dominicans don't wear socks.
Puerto Ricans.
They don't
yeah.
wear- They both killed chickens and
I
light
hardly
candles.
Yeah, that's the Haitians.
Oh, that's the
They're
Haitians.
working a floor below them. At the
But don't you think like it's almost natural like Texas and Oklahoma, they make jokes about each other
Right.
wherever you go in the world.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, it's
And they all look the
exactly
same.
like that.
Yeah, but I think that anytime you judge somebody based on anything but their character,
You should jump in a lake?
no, it's just, but it's wrong and it sends out the wrong message.
But doesn't it
Oh, my
scare you?
No, but here's the thing. You guys are looking at a
I mean, this
whole...
guy's taking chances. I wish you guys had his
You're
guts.
looking at everybody south of the border and saying that they're all the same, but
Who's saying that?
there are black, whoever, it doesn't matter. But there are Dominicans who are black because they
Right.
came from Africa, and then
Dominicano.
there's Spaniards that are more white that came over.
But
And
they
now
don't live in
they're-
Dominican Republic.
And well,
I watch
You don't
there's
think
white
there's
people there.
there's
And
culture
there's
clash.
Indians that live there,
The
like
scary
Sammy
part of-
Sosa's and
the
Indians.
scary
That's not
part of
the
this
point.
story is it's a company and the manager's a Puerto Rican.
so they're the ones who have the parade, right?
Yeah,
Puerto Rican.
Okay.
They're the
Dominicans
ones
have a
at
parade.
Verizon. They go, a specialist will be right with you. And they go, yeah, hi, this is LaQuisha. What up?
Okay.
Can we please discuss the difference between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans? That's
We
the
didn't
conflict.
grow up here. You did. You tell us. I really don't give a shit.
tell you the difference.
I don't know. Somebody woke up with the wrong side of the bed this morning. Go ahead, Jim. You seem to be the voice of reason.
I don't know the difference, honestly, between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, but I do know that they both deserve to be treated equally well.
How long is this going to work?
It's good to see somebody step out of the limb.
Only in New York would that get a laugh. Even
But they're
him
laughing for the right reason.
Tongue in
damn it.
goddamn cheek.
They know
More
he's doing
chamomile
tongue in cheek.
They wouldn't. No, the reason they laughed here is because they probably they've seen the show and they know I don't mean it.
You don't mean it?
I don't think
We'll
so.
be right back.